ho ho, and welcome to a very festive edition of The Waiting Game, where our aim this week is not to get you ready for any one particular game, but rather help you survive a day of festivity with the family. Here come the top 5 games to play at Christmas.
First up is an old family favourite, that permanently cheerful Plumber Mario. Super Mario 3D World is easy to watch, a lot of fun to play, and simple enough for everyone to have a go at, even if there are people present who don't tend to play games most of the year. In case you hadn't already figured out the traditional plot of the franchise, Princess Peach is in trouble and it's up to you to save the day. Along the way you'll grab a load of coins, try on plenty of suits with special powers built in, and stamp on more enemies than you can shake a mustache at. It's also totally family friendly, as long as you discount frustrated swearing caused by some of the trickier levels.
Somewhat less suitable for the young or prudish is Assassin's Creed 4, the latest instalment in what is pretty much my go-to Christmas franchise.
Admittedly, at first glance, there isn't really much that's festive about a game that has you charging around the sunny Caribbean, stabbing dudes, sinking ships and harpooning whales, but Assassin's Creed is often the only game that gets played at my house during Christmas. My brother and I enjoy the franchise a lot, and it's cinematic enough that my parents will pop their heads in and watch for a little bit at a time. Well, less so my mum, she's not so keen on slaughtering boatloads of people. My dad, on the other hand, gets quite into it, leading to the immortal line, "Look, I'm doing an Assassin's Creed," when he started carving the turkey one year. Oh, and Assassin's Creed 4 is really good, by the way. Some houses, though, aren't quite so keen on having the TV turned up on Christmas Day, which obviously presents quite the challenge if you've got your heart set on playing a game of some description.
Happily, games have been around longer than electronics, so you can always turn to the wonderful world of board games to keep you busy over the course of the day.
Monopoly tends to be somewhat traditional in many households over the festive period, but Monopoly is rubbish. Instead, you should play Pandemic. The best thing is it's a cooperative game fostering the spirit of togetherness, which is about as Christmassy as it gets. Granted, Pandemic is about saving humanity from extinction at the hand of 4 separate diseases, and despite 2 years of regular gameplay, I've never actually won, but there is such a thing as being too festive, you know.
Basically, in Pandemic, you assume a specific role, be that researcher, medic, or dispatcher, for instance. As you move around the game board, trying to keep infection rates to a minimum, you draw new city cards, which help spread outbreaks across the globe.
Get 8 outbreaks in one game, humanity gets wiped out. Let one disease grow beyond a certain point, humanity gets wiped out. Run out of cards to draw, humanity gets wiped out. It's, not the most cheerful experience, but it is a hell of a lot of fun to play.
Speaking of cooperative experiences, 2013 saw the release of one of the greatest co-op games of this generation, though it still does have the potential to destroy friendships. It is, of course, the absolutely superb Rayman Legends.
A beautifully designed platformer with characters as colourful as the world they inhabit, Legends is honestly joyous to play from start to finish. The plot is that, there are bad guys, and you are the good guys, so you need to stamp on their heads and smack them around and stuff, and rescue your friends. You can fit up to 4 players on screen at once in Rayman Legends, with the option for a 5th if you're playing on the Wii U version. It's really easy to pick up, and the penalty for being rubbish is pretty low, and there are even mini-games for those lacking the attention span to play through a whole 10-minute level.
And finally in this festive fun bag is an indie game that's taken the US office by storm. Seriously, they won't shut up about it. Time to put on a tin hat and throw some bombs around, folks. We're going spelunking.
If you've never heard of Spelunky before, you're kind of missing out. The adorable action-adventure game gives you control over a cave explorer, or spelunker, letting you collect treasure and save hapless damsels, all while exploring your little socks off and avoiding various traps. Available on Xbox 360, PS3, PC and Vita, you almost certainly have the technology to download it right now. The PS Vita version boasts crossplay with the PS3, meaning you can get more people involved, or keep playing should you have to surrender the TV for a film, or, for those unfortunate enough to be having Christmas in Britain, the Queen's Speech. With the PS3, meaning you can get more people involved, or keep playing should you have to surrender the TV for a film, or, for those unfortunate enough to be having Christmas in Britain, the Queen's Speech. So with a bit of luck, you should now be able to merge on the other side of Christmas unscathed.
As ever, I'll be back next week, but if you have any recommendations of your own, feel free to leave us a comment or tweet with the hashtag GSWaitingGame. See you next week.